In 1861, the first coins bearing Filipinas were minted under Queen Isabella. These coins were denominated in centimos and pesos. The 2025 centimo coin of the Philippines may appear small in denomination, but its story is woven into the country's economic, political, and cultural transitions. To fully appreciate its importance, we must trace its lineage back to the origins of Philippine coinage, colonial influences, and its place in the modern republic. Before formal coinage, trade in the Philippine archipelago relied on barter and early forms of currency, like pilonchitos, small bead-like gold pieces, and barter rings. With the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century, the monetary system was reshaped. The Spanish real became common, and later, the Mexican silver peso circulated widely. The Philippines saw a major coinage transition during the American period 1898 to 1946. The U.S. introduced a decimal coin system aligned with the Philippine peso, subdivided into 100 centavos or centimos. Coins like the 20 centavos and 50 centavos became standardized in silver. Post-independence, the Central Bank of the Philippines was established in 1949. New coinage was introduced, and the 25 centavos, later 25 centimo, began gaining more prominence as a mid-value coin. The centimo became the Filipino term, replacing the Spanish centavo in the 1960s and 70s. In the 1970s, under President Ferdinand Marcos, the Angi Bagong Lipunan series of coins was launched. This series was the first to prominently use Filipino language and Filipino heroes on coins, emphasizing nationalism and identity. The 25 centimo coin of this era featured revolutionary figure Juan Luna. This colorful series highlighted the country's biodiversity. For the first time, plants and animals were featured on coins. The 25 centimo coin during this time depicted the wailing orchid, a symbol of rare beauty and national pride. In 1995, the Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas BSP released a new coin series. The 25 centimo coin introduced in this series was simpler, more modern, and cost-effective to mint. The 202 version belongs to this series and reflects the changing priorities of coin design. In 2002, the 25 centimo still held small but practical value. It was commonly used for bus fares, jeepney change, and small candies or snacks. It filled a gap in the system of panicle change, which remains a challenge in Filipino commerce due to coin shortages. Though often overlooked, the 25 centimo coin is part of everyday Filipino life. Schools use them in lessons to teach children about counting, saving, and monetary value. It served as a gateway to understanding financial literacy in early education. By 2002, inflation had reduced the coin's purchasing power, yet it remained in circulation, often piling up in piggy banks or donation boxes. Many Filipinos carried it in their wallets or used it to round off totals at convenience stores. The BSP's goal in producing the 2002 25 centimo was to provide a low-cost coin with enough durability, help smoothen daily cash transactions, avoid coin hoarding and black market remelting. The 25 centimo coin of 2002 was minted under the authority of the Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas BSP, which replaced the older central bank in 1993. This reorganization aimed to strengthen monetary stability and independence. Coinage was part of its broad role to manage inflation and ensure enough physical currency circulated across the archipelago. By 2002, the Philippines was undergoing economic restructuring, and coin production needed to be cost-efficient, especially for lower denominations. As a result, brass-bladed steel was chosen for the 25 centimo, replacing older, costlier alloys used in previous decades. While the design appears simple, it reflects a global trend in the early 2000s. Many countries were modernizing their coins by removing elaborate imagery in favor of utility and mass production efficiency. The 202 Philippine 25 centimo coin followed this logic: no hero, no animal, just clean typography and symbols. Many Filipinos don't know that the raw materials for coin production like brass, nickel, and steel are often imported. In 2002, global metal prices were rising, which pushed the BSP to consider more affordable materials. This economic reality made the use of brass-bladed steel necessary, though it was more prone to corrosion in the humid Philippine climate. The Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas logo featured on the 25 centimo, introduced in 1993, was symbolic of a new chapter in Philippine economic policy. The eagle, part of the BSP seal, represents strength, while the 3 stars stand for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Placing this on the coin underscored the importance of centralized monetary control and national unity. Historically, Filipino currency bore the word centavo, borrowed from Spanish. But by the 1970s and 80s, the government and BSP started pushing the Filipino language, replacing centavo with centimo, a term more aligned with national identity. The 2002 coin reflects this linguistic nationalism. In 2002, the 25 centimo coin was still widely accepted in wet markets, sari-sari stores, and jeepney terminals. It helped balance change in fares that were often in increments of 1 peso, 75 centimo, 50 centimo, and 25 centimo. Jeepney fare tables and ticket counters often displayed exact change notices, and the 25 centimo was essential in that matrix. By 2002, inflation had severely reduced the buying power of small denomination coins. What once bought a piece of candy in the 1980s could buy almost nothing in 2002, yet the government maintained minting to fill the need for exact change in transport and retail. However, this triggered debates on whether to demonetize lower coins altogether, because many people neglected or ignored 25 centimo coins. They were often hoarded at home or discarded. Banks and stores reported shortages even though millions were minted. This contradiction led the BSP to encourage people to recirculate coins. Public campaigns reminded citizens that every cent counts. Thank you for watching.